Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says he's ready to fight back against Tottenham this afternoon. If Manchester United lose to Tottenham today, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should be sacked. Manchester United have to bounce back from that 5-0 defeat to Liverpool last Sunday. It was Liverpool's biggest ever win at Old Trafford, and Liverpool were 4-0 up at half time, and that was the first time a team had ever been 4-0 up at half time at Old Trafford. So from a Manchester United perspective, it was embarrassing. Like I said after the game, Solskjaer refused to resign, and Solskjaer said it was his darkest day as a manager. Manchester United are winless in their last 4 Premier League games. Manchester United are sitting 7th in the Premier League at the moment after 9 games, and that's nowhere near good enough to our standards. Manchester United will have to pay Ole Gunnar Solskjaer £7.5 million if they decide to sack him, because in the summer Solskjaer signed a new contract with Man United until 2024. There's an option of a further year, and Man United made a mistake giving him that contract. It said earlier on this week that Solskjaer could be in his final week as Man United boss as pressure mounts. The Mirror said that Solskjaer has been given 3 games to save his job. But yeah, Solskjaer's going to be in charge for Tottenham today. That got confirmed earlier on this week. Now I give you the news on Brendan Rodgers yesterday. Mark Ogden came out and said that Brendan Rodgers could take over at Manchester United if Solskjaer gets sacked. Brendan Rodgers is a potential replacement for Solskjaer, and Man United want Brendan Rodgers over Antonio Conte. I think if Brendan Rodgers was Manchester United's next manager, he'd get Manchester United back to that level where they should be at, and he'd suit the strappings of the club. Brendan Rodgers is a far superior manager to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I've got to admire the work that Brendan Rodgers has done at Leicester. Rodgers has been Leicester manager for almost 3 years. He's got a contract with Leicester until 2025, and at Leicester he's won the FA Cup and the Charity Shield so far. He's managed quite a few clubs, hasn't he, Brendan Rodgers? Before Leicester, he was at Celtic. He won a few trophies at Celtic. He enjoyed a few years with them. Before Celtic, he managed Liverpool. He enjoyed 1 good season with Liverpool. Before then, he was at Swansea. He did well at Swansea as well. When Rodgers managed Liverpool, he emulated the football that he produced at Swansea. A long time ago, Rodgers managed Reading, he's managed Watford, and he managed the Chelsea youth a long time ago. But there's many Man United fans that think Antonio Conte would be the man. Well, it said yesterday that Manchester United lose interest in the expensive Antonio Conte as Solskjaer gets a lifeline. The Daily Star said that Conte would demand a contract until 2025 worth an estimated £18 million a year. Sky Italy have already confirmed that Manchester United have made initial contact with Antonio Conte. He said Conte wants the Man United job, but the Man United board are not keen. It actually said not so long ago that Conte has reservations about the club's structure. Earlier on this season, Conte made it clear that he wants a winning project, so reflecting on that, he rejected Arsenal and he rejected Tottenham. But yeah, Conte, if he came in, he would suit the strappings of the club. Conte's got a good pedigree behind him, won a lot of silverware in his home nation, and he won the Premier League in his first season when he was Chelsea manager, so he's managed in the Premier League before. That's very beneficial. Conte is available because he left Inter Milan at the end of last season. But now I'm hearing he won't take charge of Man United midway through the season. There's also some United fans that want Zinedine Zidane in, but I'm very sceptical that Man United will get Zidane in, because reports from Spain said not so long ago that Zidane is not interested in becoming Man United manager if Solskjaer gets sacked. Zidane is enjoying life away from football management. The other week, Erik ten Hag held talks with Manchester United. Pochettino's still being spoken about. It said Pochettino is still Man United's number one choice if Man United sack Solskjaer. Pochettino is highly rated by Alex Ferguson. So there you go. But Manchester United beat Tottenham today. Obviously Solskjaer will stay. But even if we do beat Tottenham today, you know, he still will be sacked, I think, before Christmas, unless we go on a very good winning run. I reckon Solskjaer's had long enough at Manchester United. Solskjaer's been in charge of Manchester United for almost 3 years. And revert back to what I've said before, I adore Solskjaer for what he's done for the club. You know, Solskjaer is a club legend. He endured 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. And the reason Solskjaer is still Manchester United manager is because he's a club legend. Disregarding being a legend of the club, I think he'd have been sacked a long time ago. But I want Solskjaer to succeed as Manchester United manager. I think all United fans want him to succeed, but obviously we're all being realistic in saying he's not going to succeed. Solskjaer is not capable of winning trophies as Manchester United manager. He's not yet won a trophy as manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. This season is Solskjaer's third full season as Man United manager, and I did mention at the start of this season that this season was going to be massive for him because he's got big expectations to exceed. But the expectations are far too high for Solskjaer to exceed as manager. I'd say Solskjaer's lowered the standards at the club, and Solskjaer's just in a position that he shouldn't be in. And Solskjaer's out of excuses now because Manchester United enjoyed a very good summer transfer window this year. Made 4 signings, brought Tom Heaton in on a free from Villa, brought Sancho in from Dortmund, brought Varane in from Real Madrid, and we re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo after 12 years. And Man United spent around £141 million. Plus Solskjaer received very strong backing in the summer transfer window. John Murtough backed him, Darren Fletcher backed him, Ed Woodward's backed him, and the Glazers backed him. Solskjaer's enjoyed like 5 transfer windows now as permanent Man United manager. Manchester United as well have got a very, very good squad. It's a title winning squad. So revert back to what I've said on my recent videos, in reality, Manchester United should be winning the Premier League this season. But the problem is, Manchester United are a team of individuals. They don't actually play as a team. You've got the likes of Liverpool, City and Chelsea and that all play as a team, and that explains why they're in a much better position than Manchester United at this moment in time. You know? But at the start of this season, Solskjaer did say his ambition was to win the Premier League. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. I think if Solskjaer cared about the club, though, he would resign. But there again, you know, Solskjaer doesn't get a payoff if he resigns. You know, if Solskjaer does get sacked, he'll be the 4th permanent manager to be sacked since Ferguson, because Man United have already sacked 3 managers since Ferguson sacked David Moyes, sacked Louis van Gaal, and sacked Jose Mourinho. There's a lot of United fans that have got strong reservations about Ollie's decision making, because analysing the vast majority of the games Solskjaer's managed at Man United, he's been tactically naive. Plus, he doesn't have a proven pedigree as a manager. Before Man United, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles in that Molde, but just had a cold, sorry, but they're not a big club. And before Molde, he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was absolutely terrible. He only enjoyed a short tenure with them. The reason he got sacked from Cardiff is because he got them relegated. So there you go. But Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Man United it was going to be a massive job, and he knew he had a lot to do when he came in. And since Solskjaer has come in, he has brought consistency back in certain aspects. Like I've said before, we have had good periods under him. Solskjaer has signed 14 players so far as Manchester United manager, and we've spent like 441 million under the Solskjaer era. Solskjaer's also got rid of a lot of players since he's come in. You know, he's got rid of players permanently. He's also loaned quite a few players out. You can say that some progress has been made under Solskjaer, because he's got us to semi-finals. He got us to 3 semi-finals in his first full season. He got us to the EFL Cup semi-final last season. Last season he got us to the quarter-finals of the FA Cup, and last season he got us to the Europa League final. And that was his first major final as Manchester United manager, but unfortunately Manchester United didn't win it. So there you go, and last season he got us a 2nd place finish, and in his first full season he got us a 3rd place finish. I also like the way Solskjaer develops the youth as well, which is a positive, and Solskjaer's more or less given everybody their chances to express themselves, including the young players. And also a lot of players' contracts have been extended since Solskjaer came in. But reflecting on our poor results and poor performances recently, not all of the blame stems from Solskjaer. Revert back to what I've said before. Yes, Solskjaer is accountable for certain things, but there's also players that have got to take responsibility for those poor performances and poor results. It's not just all the manager's fault. And I do feel sorry for Solskjaer in a way, because he seems to be getting the vast majority of the blame, or all the blame should I say. Because there's been games where we've lost where he's actually been totally blameless. Now, I've been talking with you about Paul Pogba recently. I think Paul Pogba is a good player. Not only a good player, he's an imperative player. And I said I want Paul Pogba to stay at Manchester United, but he's not staying at Manchester United, because Mark Ogden recently said that Man United are prepared to let Paul Pogba leave on a free transfer next summer, after accepting that he will not sign a contract. By the way, Pogba recently apologised for his actions. Pogba wants Solskjaer sacked, and if Solskjaer gets sacked, then it's said I think Pogba wants to stay. Pogba snubbed Solskjaer after the Liverpool defeat, and reflecting on that, contract talks were put on hold. Pogba didn't start against Liverpool last Sunday, and I heavily criticised Solskjaer for not starting Pogba against Liverpool last Sunday because he should have started. But anyway, Pogba came on as a substitute and he got sent off for that two-footed challenge on Naby Keita. So now Pogba has a 3-match suspension, so obviously he won't be playing any part today against Tottenham. Earlier on this season, Andy Mitten from The Athletic said that Manchester United offered Pogba £400,000 a week to stay at Manchester United. That would see Pogba become the second highest earner at the club. At the moment, Pogba receives around £290,000 a week. Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next summer. Before the start of this season, Pogba rejected a Man United contract. Earlier on this season, it said Pogba's very likely to leave Man United on a free next summer. But earlier on this season, Pogba said he wanted to stay at Man United. So far this season, Pogba's got 7 assists in the Premier League, so he's done well so far this season, and he put some good performances out in the last couple of months of last season, but at one point last season he was out with a thigh injury for a while, and he sustained a couple of ankle injuries at Manchester United since he rejoined. This season is Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he rejoined. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far. Pogba's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. We had Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Ferguson era, but had to let him go due to limited appearances. Manchester United are going to offload quite a few players next year. There's a very good chance that Anthony Martial's going. You know, Martial, he's not good enough to represent the club. Martial doesn't really get in the team anyway, and he's recently been out with injury. Before the start of this season, it said Solskjaer refuses to sell Martial as he remains part of his plans. Solskjaer seems to have a lot of trustworthy in Martial because Solskjaer was the one that gave him that number 9 shirt. There's been quite a few clubs in for him. Martial, I'd say, has had one good season at Man United. That was his debut season under Van Gaal. Last season he was out with a knee injury for a while. Martial's been at Manchester United for 6.5 years. He's got a contract with the club till 2024. He's scored 79 goals for Man United in all competitions. We got him for around 54 million from Monaco back in 2015. I think Cavani's going next year, but I can't say I want Cavani to leave with the impact he's made since he's come to Man United. You know, Cavani's hold-up play is good, his movement in and around the box is good, he creates good chances and he can score very good goals. He has initially lost his place in the team though, with Man United re-signing Ronaldo, but it said earlier on this season that we're considering a formation change, which will allow Solskjaer to play 2 strikers, and I presume it'll be Cavani and Ronaldo. Earlier on this season, Cavani was out with injury. Cavani's got under a year left on his Man United contract. It was back in May he signed that 1-year contract extension. Cavani receives over £200,000 a week. Earlier on this season, it said Real Madrid want Cavani on loan in January. And I presume Barcelona may reignite their interest in January because Barcelona tried to get Cavani on deadline day in the summer transfer window. Cavani's got a good pedigree behind him. You know, look at the amount of silverware he won when he was at PSG. And he was also a long-serving player at PSG. I think Lingard is going next year. Lingard doesn't really get in the team, does he? I think Solskjaer wants Lingard to stay though. Lingard is obviously planning to run down his contract. Earlier on this season, He said Lingard rejected a Man United contract offer because of two players. Well, it said the other month that Lingard rejected a Man United contract over playing time concerns. His current contract at Man United expires at the end of the season. ESPN said earlier on this season that Lingard is a target for Barcelona and AC Milan. At the second half of last season, Lingard enjoyed a 4-month loan spell with West Ham and he made an impact. West Ham tried to get him in the summer transfer window, but they were struggling to meet Man United's 25 million asking price. Lingard has been part of the club for a long time. Juan Mata, I think he's going next year. Juan Mata's contract at Manchester United expires next summer. Earlier on this year, Mata signed a 1-year contract extension. I can't understand why Man United extended Mata's contract for a further year, because Mata doesn't get in the team, plus he's lost that yard of pace and he's ageing up. But despite all of that, I reckon that Juan Mata's had a good career at Man United. Mata has made over 200 appearances for Man United in all competitions and he's scored over 50 goals. And he's been at Man United for like 7.5 years, so he's been a very long-serving player. The first part of last season, Mata rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. And we got Mata back in 2014 from Chelsea for 40 million, so we brought him in under the David Moyes era. Van der Beek, I think he's going in January because Van der Beek is not getting enough game time at Manchester United. So reflecting on that, I haven't had much of a perception on him, but in general, Van der Beek is a good player. And I've said that Solskjaer needs to start Van der Beek, especially in the Premier League, because he's a good player, like I've just mentioned. Before the Liverpool game, Solskjaer did admit that Van der Beek is frustrated and disappointed over his situation at Old Trafford. I don't think Solskjaer wants Van der Beek at Man United. If he wanted him there, Solskjaer would play him on a regular basis. Earlier on this season, Van der Beek was furious with Solskjaer as he was left on the bench in Man United's win over Villarreal. And reflecting on that, he said he will try to force a January transfer away from Man United. Earlier on this season, Van der Beek told Solskjaer his best position and that he reckons he'd be best served operating as a number 6 or as number 8. And earlier on this season, Van der Beek spoke about his Man United future in an exclusive interview with Ferdinand. Earlier on this season, it said Van der Beek's agent had said to be working hard on finding a new club for his client. Many clubs have been in though for Van der Beek. He's endured a difficult 18 months at Man United. This season is his second full season. We got him for 40 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till 2025 and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. Matic, I think we're selling him next year as well. Fred, I want us to sell him next year because Fred's not good enough to represent the club. We overpaid for Fred, got him for 50 million from Shakhtar Donetsk. And I think Tellez will go next year. Tellez is a good left back, but he doesn't really get in our team. Tellez will only play if Luke Shaw's not available. The reason we brought Tellez in was to provide competition for Shaw. We got Tellez for 15.4 million from Porto last year. Tellez was actually out of injury earlier on this season. I think Dalot's going next year, and I think Jones and Bailly's going next year. And Dean Henderson wants a loan move away from Man United. Because obviously De Gea reclaimed the number 1 spot back. You know, Dean Henderson isn't getting his opportunities. Henderson's only been in goal for 1 game so far this season. That was the game against West Ham in the Cup. Don't forget Henderson was out with COVID for a while. So anyway, after the game, I will be giving you my match reaction. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care, God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. My channel name is Red Devil 24, don't forget.